Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deepbluerenegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deepbluerenegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 223. Today is Sunday, March 25th, 2018, and I'm glad you could join me today. It was just fussy. What is it? I'm being a little bit sneaky today. I haven't done what I need to get done yet, but I was also feeling like I really wanted to record the podcast too, so I was like, yeah, it's great. So it's a little earlier than normal, and hopefully after this, then I'll be done being weird about it. Who knows? I broke out the AeroPress this morning, so I've had, this is my second cup of my Kona blend, or it's not Kona blend, it's my Kona coffee from White Rock Coffee Roasters, so, and I think it's named because that is one of the lakes in Dallas, so, yeah, little coffee. We'll see how long the show is this week. Whatever. See if I can. As I put the kettle on for the coffee, it's just fun to say put the kettle on. I was grabbing all the different things I wanted to show, so they may not be as organized as I would prefer. So I'll start with this, because this is what you guys saw last week. So this is my Frankie Brown 10-stitch blanket knit out of 3 colors of Cascade sock yarn, or Cascade Heritage sock yarn, and the blue is Heritage sock, the light blue is Heritage silk, and the variegated is Heritage wave. So it is coming along pretty nicely. We might be able to make a baby taco now. See, we could have a baby taco, maybe. And I'll also show the backside too. So I think we're getting pretty good representation of what's going on. So I just turned the corner on the light blue stripe. And honestly, what I should do is put a marker in, because I never remember where in the world I left off. So I think I've managed to do, oh, come on, here we go. Yeah, that'll work. I did have a lobster claw handy. So I think I managed to do 2 colors this week. I also weighed it right by the turning point, so that was okay. So now we have a little progress keeper, so we can figure out where we are next week on this. And then I have this in my Fat Squirrel SSK bag right now, which is super cute. So, yarn. So I am to the 40% mark now, if I use all of the yarn. I guess the nice thing about this is that it can be done whenever you say it is, but I'm guessing it's probably not done enough yet, so I need to keep working. So I have about 120 grams into the blanket so far, and then I have about 60 grams of each color left. So we're there. Yeah, because it's about 180 in unworked yarn and 120 in worked yarn, so not too crazy. So I was feeling like I needed to bust a move on this. So what I ended up doing this week was I didn't start any new spinning projects. So there's actually, my wheel is empty. Because I realized that when I was getting home, I was spending most of my time spinning. So then the knitting project was only getting worked on when I was out of the house. So when I was doing my podcast watching and chilling and that sort of thing, I was knitting on the blanket this week instead of working on the spinning. And I feel like I'm meeting my spinning goals for the time being, but I'm not meeting my knitting goals. I don't want to be stressed out about knitting goals either. But I do want to get further on the blanket, because it needs to be done by, what is it, like May 19th, for getting all technical. So, happy with how it's turning out so far. Really enjoying the sort of graphic stripes. It sort of has that modern, or whatever, that modern abstract look to it, which I think is pretty cool. And I managed to do like a stripe at like a little party I went to last night, so not too crazy. I figure as long as I am carrying it around, it should be good. So that is for my little brother's baby Nugget. What's funny though is that my sister's baby Nugget, she's due at the end of April. So I pulled out my copy of Aviatrix, which is Justine Turner, so Just Jessie design, and oh, look at how cute that is, so cute. So I'm short a button, but I did finish an Aviatrix for her little baby Nugget. I don't know, at this point, I'm sure my sister's baby is probably big enough for that. So it has a little buttonhole and then put on, and I did this out of 3 different colors of wool Misa, probably. So the brim I held blue curacao and pesto together. I think that was pesto. And then the body of the hat and the little strap, I held the blue curacao and Suzanne. So I think it makes for some really... So it's mostly blue, but then it has some other fun stuff on it. And this one's actually pretty big hat. Like, it just seems very large. Like I can... Or what was it? Like, I was like... like, it almost fits on my head. Well, maybe not the strap. So... We'll see how things go, but it was pretty close to fitting on my head. I don't know, so it's really cute pattern, so I'm just glad I got to knit it. And then I'm sort of assembling colors for another one, but I think I'm going to knit a smaller size. What was it? Because I didn't want it to all be itty-bitty hats, but obviously it is going to be summer, so... in Kentucky, which is still pretty warm. So, there's that. So, a cute little bonnet. And then I finished another hat too, so this was basically just my normal little ribbing recipe, but then also, like, it can accommodate a fairly large head, and then also sort of grow with the baby a little bit, because it can have the brim fold down. So I knit this out of Grantopoful, Clapper Storch, and I think Brombeer, because I still had my Brombeer lace. So I held Brombeer the entire time, and then I also did the other ones. And I didn't want to entirely run out of the Clapper Storch, because I want to keep some yarn handy for repairs, but what is it? I figured it was pretty cute. And this, like, really isn't a pattern. I decided to do sort of a staged decrease where I got rid of all the pearls, and then it was just stockinette at the top. I'm not sure whether or not that was a good choice or not. It isn't how I would normally end a knit hat, but I suppose it works. So I can also send this on its merry way. So the other thing that I wanted to do, which I'm not sure if... So I also wanted to knit a little sweater. What is it? So Amy Loris had actually recently knit one for her baby, and oh my gosh, so cute. It's called the Boy Sweater. I think I have it in my queue. Whatever. It's the Boy Sweater. And I was thinking about knitting it out of the leftovers of my Vilmicity K that I overdyed with Kool-Aid. So it's sort of this rich burgundy with like pops of teal, because I selected the wrong color of Kool-Aid. I also used it in my Delancey sweater too. So, like, it's so stinking cute. It's like a little Henley with a little neck, and then like details in the body, and it's really stinking cute. So, I think I wanted a year-old size for that, which means that it probably isn't a rushed thing, but I did feel bad because all she asked for were hats. So I knit some hats. I think as I was going a little crazy with, what was it, just knitting on the blanket, so just need to focus. And part of that, I think, just has to do with, you know, the right amount of complication for the knitting task. So the 10-stitch blanket is not complicated. And sometimes that's fine, but it requires maybe, like, you're actually having a conversation with someone while you're working on it. You can't just, like, sit quietly and work on it by yourself. Well, I can't just sit and quietly work on it. Like, I need to be doing something else in order for it to work. So watching podcasts is fine, but yeah, so we'll figure it out. But 2 surprise FOs. So it took basically a night per hat. So had I been thinking maybe I would actually be to the 50% mark on my stupid blanket had I not got distracted by hats. Whatever. So for taking a break from spinning, it didn't seem to do too much for me. So here, here were the colors that I used for the Aviatrix, and then still have like the needles packed in here. Yeah. And then here were the colors that I used for, here we go. Here were the colors that I used for the other guy. So you can see I didn't really want to use too much more of that one. I did want to reserve some. So, we'll see if I make another one. I think I brought the yarn with me, and then forgot to bring the pattern because I wanted to knit another Aviatrix because they're so stinking adorable. But whatever, I think the little ribbed one's a good newborn size, and then I'll make maybe 1 or 2 smaller for the other one, and then find some buns and sew it on. Go from there. So we shall see. I do have some spinning content though, despite not starting anything new. I did finish buying my 5 bump nest combo spin. So, yay! It turned out, what is it? So you will notice that there is quite a lot of texture going on, and that is because, what is it? It's pretty thoroughly plied. It doesn't really feel like it's over plied, but it is sort of curling in on itself a bit. So this is 595 grams, and 3 yards short of 1900 yards, so 1,897 yards, which works out to be about 320 yards per 100 grams, so sport weight. Yay! I got what I intended! So, not too crazy there. It is, what is it? It's just interesting to see it plied, actually. So it is going to knit up pretty stripy, because there are just bands of color in this guy. And what would it be? I think when you are, I would say it's looking maybe a bit dark on the screen. But it would be the case where you look at it, and the primary sense I get from it is the orange. So I did find that to be interesting. But then it is certainly a very complicated orange because there's also like the pinks and the purples and the blues. So it'll be interesting to see how everything comes together on this guy. So what I ended up doing was my first skein, I sort of alternated between the 4 bobbins until I ran out of my smallest bobbin. Then I did about 2 skeins that were entirely from the 3 bobbins that I had that were mostly full. And then my last skein was primarily 2 bobbins. So I had, this was my last skein. So how it ended up working out was actually pretty perfect. I had probably, I want to say 50 grams on one bobbin and 30 grams on the other, and I had approximately 3 inches of chain ply at the end of this, so it's not even going to be worked into a project. So as far as like hitting my mark, perfect. And the chain ply is somewhere on here. So here we go. Oh, it's like 2 inches of chain ply, so that is where I ran out of. So, and that was like, whatever, maybe it's 3 inches, whatever. So that was the point at which I had run out of the one that I was doing the center pole ball plying from. So that was just funny. So I'm a little irritated about the pigtails in it, but I don't think that it'll be a big deal. Who knows? Like, I did want it to be firmly plaid because I did want it to be a hard-wearing yarn. So whatever. I'm just gonna have to deal with the fact that it does this because I don't think there's anything that I can do about it now. I wouldn't go so far as to take some of the plying twist out. It'll just be the case where I need to be mindful while knitting it that it sort of wants to do that. So shouldn't be too crazy. And really glad to come to the end of this project. So this was my all sorts of simultaneous projects at once. So it counted for the Fun Onions combo spin along, the Completely Twisted and Arbitrary Poundathon, the Completely Twisted and Arbitrary Spin the Bin. This was actually my first 5 months of Spin the Bin, done in March. Yes. And I think it counted maybe for a nest, 1, 2, maybe, I don't know. I'll probably put pictures up in whatever relevant thread. What is it? They're all club colorways from Nest. I think I went through the Lindy last week. So let's see. Aminar, Poppy, Muse, Fairy Tale, and Blossom. So, not too crazy. Due to my sweater fever and also maybe the the fear of summer coming, because it is awfully nice here in Texas right now. I bet it'll be my next cast on, so the plan is to do a still like tunic in that yarn. So I'll have to confirm yardages and that sort of thing, but should be good. What would it be? As long as it's bum covering, we're probably okay. It'll work. So, and that'll be super cute with leggings. So, that'll probably be the case where, I don't know whether or not I'll do super long sleeves on that one. Oh well. We'll cross that bridge when I come to it, because first I need to finish knitting the silly baby blanket. At least not complicated knitting. I just need to have like a strategy of entertainment. So in order to sort of take the edge off, I did end up prepping my Through Outer's Farm stuff. So I will start spinning this before, so the spin along's going on through the end of May. And I've been looking at all of the projects that people have been doing, and so I think the plan of record right now is that I took the fiber, because I have split it up last night into balls of various sizes just based on where the fiber sort of wanted to break. So I stripped it end to end, so I have little balls and I have big balls, and the plan is to spin these end to end and two-ply it, because I want to combine these two yarns in order to do brioche, which starts the spinning now. So I've concluded that two-ply is the structure I'm going to do. I was debating whether or not I wanted to do a little color mixing, and I was like, I need contrast for brioche. Like, what are you thinking? And I did the same thing with this one so that they would spin up to be the same weight. And also because it is like a fun semi-solid, I did want them to sort of stack up on each other in different ways. So that's going to be what's going on my wheel next. I might delay putting it on the wheel until it's pretty late. So I will keep focusing on the baby blanket until Friday, and then put that on the wheel. So there will be spinning content. What would it be? Or I feel like I do really enjoy spinning. So it's just funny because right now I need to be very productive with knitting. What is it? One other thing I wanted to talk about. So another thing that ended up getting me distracted is I am doing the stitch marker swap for the DFW Cyberfest, and that was exactly what I needed to do Friday night. So what is it? One of my friends just got back from a work trip from Taiwan, and what was it? I was thrilled to be able to share my giant stash of beads. So many beads. I'm gonna have to go to the bead store and get more things. What is it? Because it turns out the crimp covers that I got from Joann's are just stinking expensive. So I could get like 100 or 50 crimp covers for $3 as opposed to 20 for $3. So I was like, what am I doing this for? So, this is sort of the design aesthetic I was going for with like the bead on hook. And I have primarily made, I showed you guys last week the little plastic brown ones with the turquoise beads on it. This week I made all of these. And you can see that some of these are hanging quite a bit longer, so I ended up at Joann's getting these little earring clasp guys. I don't think I'd want to stick them in my ears, but so with these little earring clasps, I can now trade with crocheters, because that is important. And a lot of people who go to DFW Cyberfest are crochet people. So I made a pretty big line of them with the brown beads. I also did some that just had like various other things with beads. I broke into my stash of stone beads, and then all of them have the bright silver cover on them. I also realized that my 8/0 beads were actually, sorry, I can't even see what I'm doing, my little 8/0 beads were really good fit for these two, so it's been fun. Alright, cucumbers. Hopefully everything stays together nicely. So I made little red and black ones, and I really like the one that sort of had like the contrast of light and dark, so I had a lot of fun making these. So I certainly have tons more stuff to make stuff with at this point. So who knows how many more I'm going to make. I do feel like I have a pretty good amount for trading now. So I think when I'm done, it's been pretty convenient. This is a safety pin that doesn't have the words are escaping me. This one doesn't have a little twirly-do at the end, so it's a lot easier to play around with stuff. But I'll probably transfer it to a jump ring, because I actually really like having these guys on the jump ring. These are all my SSK ones. And generally, it's nice to be able to grab something. Makes it convenient to use. So, it should be fun trading markers. What would it be? And it was really enjoyable, making them as well. So, it's been fun. But obviously distracted me from the baby blanket knitting. Such is life. So, what is it? Next week will be my birthday, so that'll be fun. I probably won't celebrate it till the DFW Cyberfest, so what it'll be. And because it's Good Friday, I have the day off. Yes. So, that should be entertaining. We'll figure out where things go from there. So it looks like I'm probably ready for everything I need to do. I am taking a drum cutter class and a grist class at DFW Cyberfest this year. And then I decided that so the drum cutter class is on Thursday, so I had to take the day off. And then I was like, I should take the next day off too. Because I don't want to go to Cyberfest and then have to go back to work and then go back to Cyberfest. Like, that's just silly. So, what is it? I know for a fact that I won't be getting anything done that weekend at all. And I'm happy about that. It probably means that next weekend's gonna be lame, but oh well, whatever. I'll have my day off Friday, it'll be okay. So, whatever, shouldn't be too crazy. So, there might be another baby hat in the future. But really I should work on the baby blanket. Oh well. I think that's everything this week. I'm trying to think if there was a question of the week, and nothing's. All I have are incoherent thoughts. So, what was it? It's been, entertaining hearing answers to questions. It's just sometimes I need to have like a little bit more foresight. Then, oh wait, it's the end of the show. Was I gonna say something? Oh well. So, I should be able to record next week, so that'll be the 31st or the 1st. And I hope you guys have a lovely week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.